I remember at one point feeling like I was lifting up, and she noticed it, and all of a sudden it was like somebody grabbed my feet and just planted them.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Monsters Lounge. I'm Jeni.
And I'm Tressa.
You are?
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, I am so excited. Okay, yeah. We got some guests and we've got some cool stuff to talk about. But I uploaded videos to StreamYard, and I have full control over when they pop up, and that is what I am the most excited about right now.
I'm really excited for you.
Power.
But I want you to also realize that I still have full control.
I
can
know.
Stop anything you do.
I know.
You're welcome.
I'm still excited.
Fair.
So we're going to get right into it because I know that we are both thrilled. We have two guests on that have been on the show before, and not only that, but they're delightful human beings. And, you know, very, very good friends, like really decent and loving people.
All right, settle down.
That. All right, I won't settle down. I'm very excited about that right now. Also because we have been around for the filming of the project that they're going to be presenting tonight. And it's nice to be here at the sort of completion, right?
Oh, totally. It's very exciting to see something birthed.
Yes. So I'm talking about Neal Gibbons and birthed. My listening devices just caught up with my head.
Birth.
Neal Gibbons and DeEtte Ranae, of course, is who I'm speaking of. Please help me welcome them. Both paranormal investigators. DeEtte, very clearly psychic medium, and just a delight. I'm rambling.
Very clearly a psychic medium.
I'm doing so good.
Hey, girls. I pretend I was in labor, guys.
Oh, it's the birth.
Y'all missed it. I was out there going,
You look great. You can't even tell.
You do. Wow.
No smushed head or anything.
That's because Neal was actually the one that pushed it out.
Oh,
yeah.
Good for you, Neal.
They call me fingers.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know. But it looks like the epidural worked, so congrats on that.
That's nice. Oh boy. Listen, welcome back, you guys. This has been really cool. It was cool for us to be a part of, even just being at the filming. It was really, really neat. And let's first of all get a little brief history on the location and the concept of this documentary, because this all has to do with the Roff House.
Yes.
Excellent. Can you give us just a real quick sort of synopsis? Because I know
we'll just go back to that. So it was October of last year. We were doing it on October 31st. No, it was October 26th of last year that we did this. And the history of the Roff House is a very interesting history. We have a young girl by the name of Mary Roff, who was born in 1846. And she had clairvoyant abilities, which was mislabeled as some kind of psych issue. And she was put into a mental institution where then in about 1865, she passed away at about the age of 18 years of age. And then fast forward into about 1877, 1878, a girl by name Lorancy Venom in Watseka, Illinois, in the same community, was exhibiting the same kind of clairvoyant ability. And the father of the first girl, Asa Roff, he heard about this girl, and he knew that they were going to try to put her in an asylum. So he went over there and he talked to the mother, the father, and they were able to bring her over to their house in Watseka. And these houses are only blocks apart, like 4 to 5 blocks apart, which is so odd. And then all of a sudden he brought in Mr. C.W. Stevens, who was a psychologist as well as a hypnotist. And for whatever reason, as she was cycling through different clairvoyant people, spirits coming in and out, what they call a walk-in, she all of a sudden came across a girl named Mary, who therein was inhabited her body for 100 days and showed all the memories of Mary Roff in the body of Lorancy Venom for those 100 days from playing the piano, which Lorancy Venom didn't recognize the people. And she said Lorancy Venom was going to be in heaven for 100 days. Originally, this thing was called like a possession, but it's actually a spiritual miracle that happened. So I had the idea, and I called Larry, and I said, hey, listen, because this house was built on spiritualism. The land, a lot of the people who lived there before was built about spiritualism. I said, why don't we do a seance? I go, and let's film the conditions of the seance, and let's see what happens. And then we made it into the seance. And what's really, really weird is, what's so odd about this whole story is that I met Larry, and I didn't know that Larry and DeEtte were very, very good friends. And I put out an ad saying, hey, I need somebody to do this seance. I need a medium. All of a sudden, there was one lady who called me, and then I talked to DeEtte. And actually, for whatever reason, I had DeEtte on my mind. It's true. I had her on my mind of that's the person I wanted to do this. Then the minute that I got the phone call from DeEtte, because I was at the gym and I was talking to her for a little while, I called Larry. I said, I got DeEtte Ranae. He goes, that's my best friend. I go, get the hell out of here, dude. It's so weird how actually all this came together the way it was. And it's an amazing story where actually this is a spiritual miracle. House is built on spirituality. Actually, there's a lot of timelines, significant dramatic timelines that went through this house. And it's just an amazing story. And we can get into about dramatic other timelines that were through this house throughout the years. But that's how it all came about.
I mean, that's so cool. And of course, we're talking about Larry Eisler, who apparently decided that Ireland was more important than...
Yeah.
Okay,
how dare he? How
And
dare
just
he?
because it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, or well, 3 o'clock in the morning right now, he felt it was a good time.
Listen, isn't he an
It's 4 o'clock in the morning right
investigator?
now.
Like, shouldn't he be used to being awake all night?
Thank you.
That's what I told him. I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
He went, no.
Let's think about this logically. Larold. That's the
Larry.
version of Larry, right?
Daryl.
Is there a sweeter human being alive?
No.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. He's fairly saint-like. So that's why this location was, because it had such a impact on the spiritual movement, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's like
it wasn't just because of Mary Roff. There was spiritualism before this ever happened, but the community
In that area?
itself, I'm sorry, what?
in that area.
Spiritualism's
Totally interrupted
been,
you.
I teach a lot about spiritualism, and spiritualism has been in the United States. I mean, people don't realize, you still have the religion of the Quakers around, but they don't realize spiritualism came right before them, which was the Shakers. The Shakers were all spiritualists, essentially. And then they broke off to be Quakers. And then Quakers actually kind of morphed into spiritualism. And spiritualism has been a religion that's been around for a few hundred years now. They would just pop up tents, though they never had like a structure until really about the time Lilydale was formed.
I had no idea. Have we?
They still run it the
That
same
is
way. A lot of
crazy.
times spiritualist church is in somebody's house, or it's still a lot of the same way. So
Yeah, and it started really, really taking on in the 1800s, mid 1800s to late 1800s, and that's where it really started going. And people, it's to embrace who we are. It really is. And I tell people about the idea that we were doing for this movie is because we all have some kind of baggage in our lives. It's a simple way of putting it. We all have baggage in our lives. And I'm a big person about forgiveness. And that's part of the story as well. I mean, a family of Asa and Dorothy Roff gave away their child, Mary Roff, to this asylum where she passed away. So, I mean, being a parent, you're looking for that sort of forgiveness.
Yeah.
And what we wanted to do is we wanted to make sure that everybody brought their strongest emotions out that night. And that is something that definitely did happen. You could feel, I remember you could see Larry's crying when he's filming.
Yeah.
And
that's because I hit him.
May have.
Yeah,
Is there a video of Larry crying? Because I didn't get to be part of that.
No,
can we find one?
Yeah.
I want to see it.
So
Let's make memes out of it.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
I could
please.
see him. I could see him when I'm interviewing people. I see him that he's getting emotional.
Oh yeah.
Man, yeah.
And afterwards, he's like, Neal, this was crazy. He goes, I've never had this kind of strong emotion before. And I'm like, yeah, I go, you and me both. And we still actually talked about it. And when I finally actually saw the full movie before it comes out on the 12th at the old Watseka Courthouse in Watseka, Illinois at 4:00, the emotions, it brought back all those emotions. And I actually had to watch it a second time because I'm going to tell you something. I totally picked the right person to do it, right people to do this. I really do believe that.
Hands down. Hands
Yeah.
down.
And
Absolutely.
and when you see this, you're going to be like this. The emotions that are in it, it's amazing. It really is.
You know, let's watch the trailer that you sent,
Sure.
because I think people will really get out of that, or get that out of it, and then we can kind of follow up with some more of the questions that I had. But let's do that.
So we're on the property now.
Okay.
Do you want me to give you the name of this house?
Not yet.
Not yet.
It is so funny. Very happy. Now I feel it's weird. I almost feel like the house is like, hey, you're here. I truly believe spiritualism is a practice of proving that things outside of what we can see with the naked eye do exist. Healing energy, mediumship, life after death, and the freedom to have those beliefs.
An interesting thing about this house is people come here today to do ghost hunting. And what's the goal of that? Is there anything else out there? Is there anything else beyond what I can touch and feel in this physical world that I can find evidence of? That's exactly what the Roffs did when they built this house. To me, this house is like a monument to spiritualism and to a seeking of answers or evidence that there's something more than what we can just reach out and touch and see and experience in this physical world.
Do I think miracles could happen during possession? Yes, I do. Throughout time, we always talk about that. We always talk about possession as being something that is negative, or an entity, or a very angry grandpa. You know what I mean? A very angry man as being the person that's doing the possession. We never look at possibly a healer coming in to help take care of somebody during a period of time. With everybody that's coming, okay, say 200 people, they have 200 people that have how many of their loved ones on the other side? You know, people they've known. Not just that, but each one of those 200 people have told other people they're going to come that are not able to come, and their loved ones can essentially tag along to see if they can be heard. So coming in, I'm going to basically sit down, do some prayers, and really hope that we just get the spirits of the building to come through. But the chances of other ones coming through are actually very likely also.
Does that make sense to you? What's the last question? Omar has one more last question about it. What is he up to?
5'9".
Was he 5'9"? 5'9", and he would be funny like that.
Exactly.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Omar.
Fantastic trailer. It concludes with a lot of visual of just sort of the people who were able to ask a question and get some contact through. But that definitely, Neal, that speaks to your, point about it being, a very emotional movie, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, and that was the point to it. When I was talking to Larry over the phone about this, and Larry was probably like, "Oh, here's Neal again, wanting to tell me another one of his crazy ideas." I explained it to him. This is true. Sometimes he goes like this, "Oh my God, what do you got to talk to me about today?" And so I told him, I said, "Listen, let's, instead of going out and looking for ghosts and doing what everybody else does, oh, hey, who's there? I think I heard something."
I like that part.
And that's all fine and good. That's all fine and good. But let's do something about the person, their spirit inside. Each and every one of us has it. And the minute that we are given a chance to somehow let that out that we've been holding in our lives, like we're doing with this here, it makes you feel good. Everybody can say, "Oh, this is hokey," or this and that. But you want to know what? At the end, someone walked away and they felt better about their life and what happened in their life. And that's the important part to it.
100%. The reassurance that so many people got, the other word I can't think of right now. It's a huge it's a huge boon for a lot of people that get to experience that. I think that's amazing.
When you feel that like that, like for me, I always worried that my mom, like I was never going to be forgiven for certain things before my mom died. Like I had that worry that I put her in the hospital and stuff, and that's baggage on the soul. And what happened was she died alone, and that messed with me. Yeah. So I wanted to give that to people. I want them to release that spirit of that baggage. And when you're able to do that for people walk home and they go, "Finally, I feel a little more relieved." And that's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Neal, you were, I want to get into the specifics of like DeEtte, like how did you prepare and all of that stuff. But Neal, I have to say, we were there, and it's the first seance that I've witnessed. And, you kept hearing all of these questions like, "Are you okay?" And Tressa and I were discussing like, "What are you talking about?" And then I would discuss with other friends, one of whom was like, "Why are you asking if they're okay? Clearly they're okay. They're away from this world. Ask where the gold is." But in watching you do this and interact with these people, you saw and you felt people getting so much relief, and release from some of this grief. And it was really, I really do think that these two individuals helped you guys out a lot with that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Really
Those two
helped,
there,
especially
them two, this would have never happened.
Right.
Who are we looking
Especially,
at? You can't just show a picture. Who we're looking at?
Yeah, that's you, and that is me. And we are both wrapped in blankets because it was
Are you wearing a
very,
face
very
mask?
cold.
Are you dressed as a mummy? What's happening there?
Obviously, I go everywhere dressed like a mummy.
Yeah, you
Well,
always
clearly
have a
you should have had
costume.
the heated blankets on that I did.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And we are going to get into that in just a couple of moments here after we have
this message.
There we go.
Have you been feeling called to explore your intuitive gifts and deepen your spiritual practice? Then Pathways to Spirit was created for you. Sarah Lemos has been teaching Pathways to Spirit for over 16 years. And in that time, she's watched hundreds of students grow into their gifts with confidence and clarity. This isn't just about learning tools. It's about understanding how your energy works and how to use it with intention. Over 6 months, you'll learn about your own intuitive abilities and how they show up, along with many esoteric tools and practices to help explore your potential. But this course is about more than just learning. It's about embracing your sensitivity and living your best life. Register now at mediumsarahlemos.com while there's still space. It's time to uncover your gifts and abilities. Are you ready to join this extraordinary journey.
I love Sarah.
Listen,
She's just fantastic.
Just a delight. Listen, I want to get back to the topic, but in the comments, which I'm trying to peruse regularly,
We're bad. Sorry, guys.
We do have some requests for autographs. So, just contact us and we'll sign things
From that
for
one
you.
shot?
Yeah, I know.
We'll have to blow it up and
It's
print
incredible.
it up as a glossy.
Seriously, though, good work. Yet I know that we've talked before about sort of the way that you prepare and then the way that you recover for this. But this had to be massive because, first of all, it was a very extended period of time that's got to be exhausted. Can you tell us about your experience and kind of what was that like going into it and going through it?
Well, for myself going into it, I knew I needed a few things. Okay. Especially when you're going to go into trance. I mean, this type of situation going into trance is something you don't really do, because it can be very dangerous for the person to go into it, So that's why, everybody before they got there kind of got instructed to be quiet, only go through Neal, that was like one of the game rules I told Neal was to do this, and especially outside, was if somebody wanted to ask a question of whoever was coming through, they had to ask Neal and then ask me. So that I call it the body. The body only heard one voice, at all times. If I'm in danger or they perceive I'm in danger, I have a safe word for them to kind of say, which will start to bring my consciousness back. For myself, I had somebody there to, ground me, which is kind of getting into my energy and really holding me down. And I remember at one point feeling like I was lifting up, and she noticed it. And all of a sudden it was like somebody grabbed my feet and just planted them. So, there's a lot of safety measures actually involved with all that process, to make sure that at all times I'm protected, because even though I'm in control of my body, I'm not really necessarily caring what's going on, if that makes sense. For me, it's, my preparation was, getting into prayer, getting into the right mindset. A lot of people see my granddaughter there, and I'm sure they're like, okay, why is this 7-year-old here at a seance? And she calms me. You know what I mean? There's something about her that is just loving and calming. And she's, to me, just one of the most amazing beings there is. So she was like, literally, she wanted to be part of it. So for me, when, right before I went out, I looked straight out and there she was. And it gave me a certain sense of comfort, and I was able to go under, but at the same time, Neal's beautiful wife was she called her handler or her caretaker. I knew there was a police officer that had her back, so I knew she was safe no matter what.
Yeah. So,
the last thing for me was to keep warm, because I know if my body's not comfortable, it's not going to happen, or something's going to pull me out, and being, October 26th, it's cold, it's nighttime, it's all of those variables. So what people didn't see was I had a Milwaukee's heated jacket on. I had Milwaukee's heated socks on. I was sitting on a heated blanket. I had another one wrapped around me. I was heated from head to toes, because I knew if I got cold, I wasn't going to stay in, so it was a lot of prepping, for my safety, and, just keep the body in a comfortable position for me able to do this, as successful as we could.
Yeah. When this sort of thing ends, because I know, you're not really cognizant of what the other people, that high emotion that is happening around you, and like the direct, I guess, seeing somebody cry inevitably makes me cry.
Right.
Right. Like it makes me tear up. Right. Because of that whole human. Anyway.
Yeah.
When you kind of come out of this state, do you get hit by all of that, or is that sort of filtering in?
Oh,
as
wow.
You go?
That's one thing I would have prepared for differently. wasn't their emotions. It would have been the voices that continued to go on for probably over a month.
A month.
Oh yeah, it did. And it wasn't like I got to hear voices. I heard ringing through my brain for like a month. Well, probably a little over a month. It happened. And it's really funny because it's called tinnitus. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's ringing of the ear, but people always call tinnitus like ringing of the ear. But what it is, if you look it up, is your brain is what listens. Okay. Mm-hmm. And when your brain doesn't understand what it's hearing, it causes a ring. Okay. So it's actually your brain kind of ringing. And for me, I don't hear it here. I hear it across my brain. And for that first week, it was so deafeningly loud. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? Did I break something? Did I make a huge mistake? And Spirit literally told, I mean, I'm a nurse, but the Spirit's like, look it up. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Okay, I got it. So Spirit, let's try to calm this down. So apparently, Spirit was just like, hey, you've had, it was hundreds of voices kind of all at once. Obviously my conscious isn't, there, but my brain was, so it was really weird because then it got to, every week it seemed to be like ringing in a different portion of my brain. It was really weird. It was like, I could point like it's ringing right here today, or it's ringing back here today. And it kind of drove me crazy. And somewhere into December, it was finally done. But now if I do like a lot of readings, like this weekend, I did a lot of reading, my brain's ringing right now. And it has been since then. And I'm like, okay, it's just going to ring for a little bit and it's okay. It'll quiet down, It's kind of like
that sounds really annoying. I don't know.
How you do that. You know how you get rid of it? I just figured it out. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah.
And crickets are coming out again. And the ring is in my brain. And like I had the window open and I heard the crickets and I didn't hear my ringing. I went, this is really cool. The crickets actually kind of cancel it out. It's like, yes.
Oh,
this is fantastic.
It's kind of like really meditating. Neat. Yeah, it's kind of like just going to have to meditate and kind of be calm and go, okay. The cool thing is when Spirit comes in, the ringing stops. So my thing is just, let's do more readings.
You're like, blah, blah, blah. No, thanks.
Yeah. Also, we're just going to send you a bunch of crickets, like a box of crickets. That's helpful, right?
I think that would be amazing. I think that'd be amazing.
Right now, it's on its way.
When they say it sounds like crickets, now I know what it means.
I don't. Okay.
And doctors need to know that's how you just kind of like cancel out the noise. It's kind of like, yellow cancels out.
Yeah. But like, let's think about this really though, because it's a natural sound.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's some like sort of hertz or some sort of decibel that a cricket makes that would cancel that out in your brain and just does it naturally. And that's
I'm going to start listening to different hertz to see if it will.
Yeah.
I am. Because I mean, right now it goes away faster than it did a year ago. But yeah.
What you can also use
brain up leveled, I think. What's that?
Absolutely.
You can use a frequency emitter.
Oh.
If you put a frequency emitter and what you do is you cycle it through,
mm-hmm.
you can keep cycling until you find the exact sound. Like what you do is do a Google search of the frequency that crickets made. And then what you do is you put it in your frequency emitter and you put it at the hertz that's supposed to be emitting.
Okay.
And then play that on a Bluetooth. And more than likely that'll be the same frequency that's coming out into your environment.
Right. Somebody said in the comments they'd be going crazy. I don't go crazy with it, which is really weird. For the most part, it's just there. It's not, how you hear people talk about they go, not at all. And I think it's because, I understand what's going on and my brain's just kind of grabbing a lot of the noise that's out there right now. So, yeah.
I like the Neal's idea, but
I do like it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and say no, and just boxes of crickets.
Just boxes.
I like crickets in the fall and frogs in the spring. So
who doesn't?
Seriously though, it's fantastic. Man, we just got my brain got sidelined on frogs and crickets because now there's little frogs in there like singing away.
Eating crickets.
Eating crickets, doing all that kind of, just doing all that.
That's a whole other noise.
Neal, this, and I might be edging into like personal, territory here, or emotional territory. You were talking, about the grief and the guilt and what you were feeling. I had a very similar situation with the death of one of my loved ones, where I felt a lot of that, that shame and guilt and all of those. You have all those questions. Do you find that being a part of these experiences sort of helps you recover from that?
Yeah.
And expand that idea of forgiveness?
Yeah, because, like I've had conversations with my wife about things like this. We talk about things like this. Is that you're always going to dwell, what I could have, should I, done something a little different to help someone along, like in a mother or a father. You're always going to question that. Did I do right or wrong by that person? But in the end of the day, I don't think, let's say it happened to me. Let's say reverse was one of my kids and they put me in a hospital. I wouldn't want them, no matter what happened to me, I wouldn't want them to grieve like that. I wouldn't want them to think, because you want to know, it's part of life. Life is death. And what's going to happen is going to happen. We can sit around and we can say, I should have turned left when I should have turned right. We can sit there all day long and do that. And don't get me wrong, I still get emotional about it. It's because the attachment that you have for that loved one. Absolutely. But the thing is that if you beat yourself up and you continually beat yourself up about these things, you're just going to fall into a depression, and you're going to have crazy thoughts. Don't let if a message to you and everybody else, think of the times that you had together with that person or persons and smile and just say, hey, I remember that nice day that we had together. And if you truly, truly know that person, you know that they're not going to have ill will to you. It's just something that's always going to every now and then mess with you a little bit. It's natural. I think it's very natural. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do what I did, is because like Tressa said, it's release. You have to have release. You have, like it goes back to the Christmas Carol thing. Marley has all these things there, all this baggage on him, all these cases and stuff like that full of chains. If we can just, for just one person who's been feeling that grief, either whoever it is, if we can break a couple of those little links on those chains and they go home, you know what? I think my mom or dad love me, or my child loves me. Then we did good. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
100%. And so many people walked away, having asked that question of, are they okay? Like, I think of course they're okay. Like, they don't, you're the one who's like, upset and all these things, but there's so much relief, and there's just, it was so beautiful to watch people experience that. It really, truly was.
It really was.
Can I add something to that?
No. Anyway, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. That was very.
Neal had said something that, and I'm sorry, Neal, to kind of either counter that or to kind of continue with that, is one thing that I've recognized with doing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of readings is there is no death. There's just not.
Right.
Yes.
And that's one reason why people come and they say, are you okay? It's because we've really put ourselves in a space that we're born and we die. Like, two things are going to always happen. You're going to be born, you're going to die. And as long as I can talk to somebody on the other side that you can't visibly see, they're not dead. They don't have this shell anymore. The best way to explain it is, when you turn 16, you get that car and it's a jalopy. You know what I mean? It's you get in a car and you drive it and it runs out of gas and the tires get flat. And all of a sudden one day that car does not start. I mean, what are you dead because a car doesn't start? Or do you get out of the car and go get in a new car? Yeah. You know, that's what it's about. We always kind of get rid of the soul. Like, oh my gosh, the body's dead. What happens? Well, that's what spiritualism is about. That's what seance and mediumship is about, is saying, guess what? They're not dead. They're still there. They're still continuing. They're vibrating at a higher frequency. They are continuing. And, you know, I would hope that not only somebody from a seance or a reading not only understands the fact that, one, they are okay, but two, that they haven't died. You know, they are continuing. And not only that, you can also communicate with them on your own. You know, so often, you know, it's so funny because I always give this example to people, like, you know, everybody's a medium. You know, you got this thing that everybody goes, everybody's a psychic, everybody's a psychic, but not everybody's a medium. I don't agree with that. You know, I do believe everybody's a medium. Everybody has that capability. Is everybody going to go do readings? Probably not. You're going to have a little bit more skill than the others. But I always tell people, the best way to know that you're talking to your grandma or your mom is, you know, think about making, you know, say grandma's cookies, you know, and everybody's like, oh my God, I want grandma's cookies. And you swear you got grandma's cookies recipe, you know what I mean? And you're making them so close, but you never quite get it. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you're trying to make them dumb cookies again, and you hear throwing mustard, and you're like,
yeah,
okay,
no, you're right.
throwing the damn mustard. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden you got grandma's cookies and you're going, what the hell? And I'll tell you what, I have used that story as an example. And it happened to me this year, literally not even a month ago. I mean, for my mom's birthday, I'm the only one that has my grandmother's cheesecake recipe. The only one. Yeah. I mean, my grandma's one gave everybody their own little thing. And my daughter Lila looked at me because I was passing on to my granddaughter to make this for my mom's birthday as a surprise. My daughter's like, you know, Mom, you're always close, but you're never quite there. And she goes, if you ever get it, I'm going to be the one that cries. And I went, okay, well, chalk this up to screwing up before I even started. And literally, I'm preparing
and also, you're welcome for baking.
Exactly. And I'm not kidding you. I'm making this cake, and I hear put lemon juice in it. Okay. I put lemon juice, not even thinking. I make it. And you're not going to believe it, but 3 people started crying because they're like, oh my God, it's grandma's. And I'm like, no shit. I'm using this as an example. And the old lady finally came and said, well, here you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's mediumship. I mean, it might seem small, but what is mediumship? But talking to somebody that no longer has a body. Mm-hmm. And we do it all the time. So not to kind of, you know, go against Neal on that, but if people start to realize we don't actually die, I think we'd already get a lot of that sadness gone.
I agree 110% with you. I'm 110%. You're absolutely right. We never, ever die. And people can say, hey, when you close your eyes, you close your eyes. I think you're going to be in for something when you find out that that's not true. And to understand something, to each their own, their thought. Right. But I personally, I believe that, the way I always explain it is like, you know who you are inside. It's like right around here. You know who you are. And that's going to always live on.
Yes. I mean, I love this. And please, you guys, like, obviously, any question that I direct towards either of you, the other can chime in.
Yeah.
Clearly. But DeEtte, I love so much that you did. I don't know if anybody can tell. I'm tearing up right now just because that's such a beautiful thing. And if anybody listening to this, that would be the thing that I would obviously, you know, go see the seance and everything, but also take that with you because I know I will. You know, I hear things on the show all the time that, you know, just make me feel good inside my brain space. So thank you. Anyway, enough about me.
I love to teach.
So
Can I just add real quick?
Oh,
you know,
no.
Going back
No.
to guilt of a dying loved one, like, regardless of what happened at that moment of death, once the soul is passed on, and this is what I believe, I'm not saying this is fact, but it is. They don't care.
God.
They are in such a better place. They have now completely learned all the knowledge that they need to know and go forward with whatever their next step is. They don't care about 5 minutes of their life. That was just like, I'm ready to go anyway. Let's speed this up. We don't need to have guilt over a death regardless.
No, I agree. Don't have guilt. Guilt is not good.
All right.
Yuck.
Then we have some kind of ad or something to get to, and then we can do some EVPs.
Yeah.
A vampire in Rhode Island?
A UFO crash in Connecticut?
A flying moose in Maine?
A haunted bridge that calls your name?
New England is weird.
Really weird.
Wicked Strange by Jeff Belanger and Frank Grace is your ticket to the bizarre. Ghosts, monsters, urban legends, and roadside oddities you won't believe until you see them.
So pre-order now on Amazon. It drops September 2nd.
Assuming the Black Dog of West Peak doesn't get you first.
Let's get strange.
Wicked Strange. Pre-order your copy now on Amazon.
I love your
All right.
commercials.
That's a very cool commercial, man.
Yeah.
Now, just you wait, because we got some website commercials coming that we haven't filmed or written out yet, but it will happen.
It will happen.
Listen,
It's all
we'll
up
get some
here,
new ones.
baby.
It's in there. Okay. That was delightful. That was lovely. We do have some EVPs that you guys got.
Oh, yes. Yeah, these are EVPs from the customers. We had over 150 people that showed up to this event, and it kept going. What I do is part of what I do for the Graveside Paranormal is I make sure that everybody gets a copy of their emails, their EVP sent to their email, so for them to discover. But I kept all of them because sometimes people, they're not going to go through them. And so I went through them and I found some pretty good EVPs on the day on October 26th during the daytime before the seance. So
Yeah, so we're going to hear a couple of them. I want to do a little bit of setup first before we hear them, because as I so famously say, because everybody's talking about what I'm saying, I can never distinguish words. I just can't. I mean, I can barely do it when someone's speaking directly at my face. I do ask people to repeat themselves quite often. So the first clip that we're going to show is the one where we're hearing it looks like it's dead. Mm-hmm. So that clip, do we have any context for it?
So I believe Nat from ACG she was one of the investigators there that day, her and her husband. And all I know is that she was asking the question, and that's what we got. And that was not part of the people who are in the room. When I go through these, just like any other person's research, you have to constantly go through this. Now, I already hear things out of my left ear all the time, so I'm able to hear things that are a little more silent than others. That's why I tell people to wear headphones when they're wearing these things. But I try to bring up the volume. So if you hear some kind of inconsistency on the volume, like coming up or lower, I have to raise that EVP so that people can distinguish it, so they can hear it. You can't leave it on that little light little thing where I can hear it says they're dead. So I have to raise it. So just so that you know.
I was wondering about that, so that is helpful. Okay, I'm gonna play this guy.
Usually the red light should be on. It looks like it's dead. There you go. Usually the red light should be.
Sorry, I'm touching things that I shouldn't have access to.
No, play it again. Like, let's play it 2 times in a row so we can hear it and then hear it.
I mean, I meant to do that.
Usually the red light should be on. It looks like it's dead. There you go.
So you can see that there is a flow. The lady's talking about, you see the red light, and then right after that, it's a totally different voice that's inside the room and says it's dead, or it looks like it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a complete flow where like something's there, I don't know, hanging out. And just so you know, that house there, I have caught so many times a disembodied voice of a young lady. And they're on the floor, on that second floor, where we've caught it many times, as well as the basement.
So do we have any information? Like, has anybody taken a stab at who this is or what they're talking about?
So my personal opinion is that I don't think it's Lorancy Venom. I don't think it's Mary Roff. When me and DeEtte originally went there, okay, like I was explaining in the beginning, there are 3 very strong dramatic timelines that happen in this house that was made of spiritualism. You first have the whole Roff family that experienced the Watseka Wonder. Then after that, there was a judge who lived there by the name of Judge Raymond. Now, Judge Raymond, he was not that great of a guy. He was not a very nice person from what I understood. But then after that, he had a stepdaughter by the name of Catherine Clifton, who was a very strong woman, who was an aviator. And back in those days, they, up in the upstairs part in the back room, they had servants' quarters. And me and DeEtte went back there, and we were doing everything. Because what's interesting about this whole thing is, like, DeEtte, we had to put this together because there's going to be another video that's going to be coming out about the full investigation. When we did that, DeEtte didn't understand why she was getting different things because I didn't tell her everything that was going on with the house. I knew in my mind that what she's touching in on is all these timelines. So not only is she getting the Mary Roff, Lorancy Venom timeline, she's getting Judge Raymond's timeline. She's also getting Catherine Clifton's timeline and anybody who lived in there for like a 3 or 5 year period. And she's getting all that because that house there is retaining so much. And me and DeEtte were talking with the Anahata box with a young boy who hides himself in the back room.
And you guys found him now, didn't you, in history?
No, I haven't found. All we know is that it may have been one of the servants' children. Okay. That's all I can say. I can't say definitively that this is this person here.
Okay.
There is something with all the timelines. That's why she was like, everything seems to be thrown off. But when I explained it to her, it made sense to her. Am I right?
It did. Yeah. I didn't get to find out, though. And what people don't realize is I went through the house the first time with them, which was amazing. And when they're doing when we're doing the interviews first night, like when the part in the trailer you see me doing the interview, I still did not know anything about the house or what was going on other than my walkthrough. That's it, other than what I'd gotten. So the fact that I was talking as if I knew something is really kind of shocking. It wasn't until the second week on the second investigation when we went back that I actually knew some of the history of the house.
Right.
Wow, that is when you get these impressions, and again, like I sometimes have no idea what I'm talking about. So if the question is dumb, I apologize. But is it like, do they intermingle and sort of mix like these different timelines? Is it like looking at?
It really kind of depends on where I'm at, like this one. Of course, Larry, Neal, and myself are driving up to the house, but this is about 10 minutes out, 12 miles. Yeah, I start looking at the sky and I'm looking up there and I'm like, they're like, what? I'm like, I want to be up there. I don't know what's going on. I just want to be in the clouds. I just want to be in the clouds. And I had no clue why at all, and it turns out the aviator lady would get in her plane every day and go, and go check on the fields that she owned. So about the time that land started, I started going to the clouds. Again, I had no clue what timeline I was in, So when I'm doing a first impression, all I'm doing is getting, what am I getting? And giving, and just kind of going through and rambling and talking. And I've got, Larry always has this really cute look. wants to do.
Dude has no
It's
poker
awesome.
face. No
Yeah,
poker
so,
face.
like-
But he's doing it the whole time because he's like, oh my God, you know, and here's Neal going, and here we go. And let's go to the next room. What you getting over here, DeEtte? You know? So
because I already knew what it was.
Yeah.
And you see, I do not want to give it away whatsoever. And in
Yeah.
my head, I'm like this, oh yeah.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't know now if they were like, hey, let's get into that. You know, I could stay in it long enough and then find out a different timeline, you know, where we're at here, where we're at there, you know, go through and start to, you know, go, you know, how are they dressed? How, you know, maybe, you know, verbiage they're using or, you know, how they're saying something. You can get to the timeline or that time. So,
Okay.
which is kind of nice.
This is another maybe stupid question, but when you listen to recordings of EVPs, can you glean anything from them?
I suck. No.
Yes.
Now,
more
if
people with
somebody
audio
plays down, like, this
processing.
is what it says, I'll go, oh my God, that's exactly what it says. And why can't I hear it? It's the same as, you know, when they do Estes methods, you know, we decided that I can't do an Estes method the same way because they're supposed to like have the white noise and that's what you hear it in. I hear it clairvoyantly. I hear it all here. So I'm always waiting for it to come through the ear and I can't hear through. I don't have bad hearing, but my ears are always somewhat plugged. They have been from allergies. So for that, I have to do it this way, which Neal found a way for me to hear it that way, which is essentially an Estes method for a medium, you know, which is kind of nice. It was nice to experiment with it. Kind of creepy, but it was nice to experiment with it. But no, I don't do well with, you know, I would not be a person to sit there and listen to those at all.
Okay, is anybody else very curious about this way that Neal has discovered? Like,
should I explain it, Neal, or should you explain it? It probably sounds better when you explain it.
It's nothing new that nobody's ever done it. It's just an Estes method. People have done it where like they've sat in water or they've laid in water. It's where you're taking out all the things, you know, the outside, so sight, hearing, feeling. So we don't have something where she can lay in a tub where she's floating or anything like that. So I had an idea. Why don't we just wrap you up in a blanket and keep you nice and tight? And I do the Estes method with you and you have the blindfold on. And I want you, first what we do is I get her to start getting herself almost like not really a trance, but I want her to relax herself. I don't want just the headphones to be put on right away. I want the person to relax them. I want them to search with their mind, their body, and their soul out into the environment. Like I tell people when we go on a haunted location, I take them there, walk around the house first. Get that feeling for that house. Like some people do, like when I go into certain locations, because I always hear things out of my left ear of people talking, and I can hear the conversation, I can hear people talking, is that once you start getting that feeling of that house, which I want DeEtte to do, let that mind wander, let that spirit wander. And if you get something great, and when we go back in the recording afterwards, what doesn't make sense in the beginning might make sense in the end.
I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, listen, I wanted to read this question from someone in the chat. Slacktastical asks, he asks a few questions. They ask a few questions, but they can interact with you on different timelines. Can they interact with each other from different timelines? And does time exist or on the other side, or is that just a human existence application?
Okay, so yeah, that's an excellent question. And to be honest with you, just so the person understands, there's no such things as experts in this field. Okay, there's only good researchers. And once you start noticing trends in certain locations and stuff like that, you start to pay attention that I had this happen in this location, and I had that happen in that location. Could some of these things that are going on, could they all be residual, like voices? Could they interact with each other's timelines? I'm going to say no, because if it's a residual haunting, it's no interaction. And if it's not interacting with anything, it is just flowing in our timeline through the timeline that was recorded, if that makes sense. if all of a sudden there are intelligent spirits that are in the house, and maybe there is some kind of vortex or a portal that's coming in and out, because a lot of these places who have these things, they're allowing people to come into this house and you don't know their intent. You don't know the intention. Could they be opening up things that nobody should be opening, or playing with things they shouldn't, and they don't know how to close them? Not that I know how to do any of these things. But if you don't know how to close it, those spirits there, the attachments that they have, could linger on inside those houses. And they could be stopped inside those houses and they don't know where to go. Could that be happening? Yes. So back to intelligent. There could be also intelligent haunting that is not part of the timeline that have somehow interacted with that environment, if that makes sense.
And the neat thing about that is what people don't realize. A lot of people are not realizing. I don't know if anybody watches Dr. whatever dude, where he Dr.
I
Oz.
watch him all the time.
Thank you. Dr. whatever dude, Oz. I looked up at Tressa and heard Oz.
Oz.
Anyway, he had Tressa Caputo on once, and he like popped the cap on her to test her brain. And about that time, neuroscience started testing the medium's brain. And they've been able to prove the truth of a medium's brain, that our brains and how they work, and how we're able to hear that, say those frequencies or whatever you want to call it. So what's really cool is if neuroscience is already on to studying the medium's brain to see how it works, I think that's a question that may very much scientifically be answered in the future also.
Oh, I love that.
Hope so.
So
I
much.
think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they finally vindicated a bunch of us and said,
Yes.
hey, they're the real deals. So
Absolutely.
and you can prove it.
For real. Just carry a copy of that anytime that you go any place, and just be like, look at this. See this?
Yeah, there you go.
You can't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm above you.
Go look at the
We-
I'm
studies.
above you. Be gone.
we do want to talk about stuff that you guys are working on, because I'm pretty sure that new and improved method that you came up with is somehow involved in this. So tell us what's going on upcoming for you guys.
So me, DeEtte, and Larry, well, actually me and Larry last year, I was called by a place called the Lyric Theater in Blue Island, Illinois. And the girl there, Mandy, I love this girl. She's awesome. She called me. She said, Neal, can you come out here? I think we have some kind of haunting that's going on. And I said, of course, Mandy, I'd do anything for this girl. And we go out there, and I tell Larry about it. We go out there, and we spent a couple good hours inside the Lyric Theater, which is a beautiful theater. And we actually caught evidence, unknown what it really is. So then I came up with the concept idea, well, let's move forward with the seance and let's bring it to the Lyric Theater and see what is really going on at the Lyric Theater. So on October 30th in Blue Island, me, DeEtte, and Larry are going to do a presentation called Speakeasy 2, the Seance. We're going to see what's there through DeEtte and see if she can get us some answers. And then we're going to go out to the audience and we're going to see what kind of answers we can do as well. Kind of like what we did at the Seance. We're going to see if DeEtte can and can't. We're going to see if she's up for it or not. But no matter what, we are going to be out there doing the Seance for Speakeasy 2. I'm looking so forward to this because me and Larry actually gathered a lot of evidence for this.
Nice.
And I still know where I'm going.
I am very excited. It's inside this year.
I'm coming in costume, so I don't know about you guys.
Oh, let's do
but
it.
I want to talk about the other thing that's going on, Neal.
Please.
So,
Yes.
all right, if I may, I was going to. Do you want to talk?
It came about kind of interesting because we did a lot of investigating, 2 full days of investigating before the seance. Okay. And we did not know how the seance, honestly, all 3 of us, I think we all kind of thought that the seance would be Mary Roth or, Lorenzi coming through. When it took a total different turn, we were all like, oh, both days of investigation are just scrapped. Like that's like 18, 20 hours of film gone. And it was funny because over the last, almost year, we've gotten together. I'm like, we should do it too. We should do it too. And I didn't think I was being heard. So I was like, okay. And then finally, you know, I'm like, maybe we should do a seance in the house. Still not there. So when I finally got Larry by myself on a very long trip to Maine, I started talking and he was like, huh? I'm like, I've only been talking for 10 months now. We should get me and you and Neal and John all in the same room that they used to do seances in, because that's what the Ross did, were seances. Let's get together. Let's do that with just trying to bring through them. And they can tell the story of this house. And that way the 2 days of filming doesn't have to be scrapped. And Larry's like, oh my God, that's a great idea.
Well, you know, what kills me?
I'm
What
like,
kills me
let's
is
get a hold of Neal.
so she calls me and she said, hey, Neal, I had this idea and this and that. And I said, I'm totally with it. I love the idea. But I've already, you know, the thing was, I was telling Larry this. I was saying to him, I said, we got all this footage. And I'm telling
Larry's
you.
now one not listening.
Yeah, you know what? We have so much of this stuff. Like I said, can we put this in? Can we put that in? He's like, no. He goes, it's going to go over. And I said, you're the expert. I'm not going to question you. I go, but we have to use this footage because, like I told you, we were holding a conversation with this young boy with the Anahata box on the top floor.
Yeah.
And the things that were going on in the basement, unbelievable. There's definitely something there. So we're going back. We're going back in January.
Love it.
And we're going to let the house tell its story.
Yeah.
Which is what we really thought what the documentary was going to be about the first time. We really honestly, when we went into the project, we thought the documentary was all going to be about the Ross and this house and the timelines. And they honestly didn't get a chance. They didn't get an hour. And we're going to go back so that they can tell their story.
Yep.
You know, and it's kind of like the seance too. There's another seance, much smaller. Sorry, there will not be an invitation of 150 people. It's going to be people in the film to ensure that we get, you know, the best we can to ensure, you know, the different people that have lived at this beautiful house for them to come through versus, you know, all the other loved ones, and just let the house tell its own story. And that has not been done yet. So.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And you know what? And the thing is, I want to just touch upon it really quick. I know we're a little short for time. Is that I want to tell the story about this, but I want to be honest with people. I've come across people who are telling a lot of dishonest stories about the Roff House, and it really irks me when people are saying certain things are going on in this house that are not going on in this house, and I want us to sit back and have a really honest and good investigation and present it to the people and show them exactly what we found. And if we find something, great. If we don't, we can't say we didn't try.
Amazing.
There's history there. So either way, it's going to be fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's already so much there. We just have to do one more seance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
In the house.
In the house.
In the corner. With spooky
Okay. Anywhere else specific?
Well, there's lots of corners.
And maybe some crickets.
And some crickets. Oh. Afterwards, I need the box of crickets to come in.
That's correct. I will supply said crickets.
I'll find a snake store and I'll find crickets.
And you know what? Next year's picture will be Jeni and Tressa looking through the windows.
It'll be like this.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious.
That'd be awesome.
What are you guys doing?
We are available anytime for ridiculous
to look
photos.
through your windows.
Just saying. Oh no. Shh. Remember, that's what we don't talk about that.
Not out loud. You're right. I'm sorry. You guys, thank you for coming back and telling us about the stuff. I am definitely going to be there on the 30th because it sounds fantastic. And it's close.
I didn't know that. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
We're just so y'all know, Daddy's coming because she made it. She's so excited. Mommy and Daddy are letting her take Monday off because it's going to be a late night for her. So she's so excited.
I bet. She's adorable.
You know, everyone at home, go get your tickets before they sell out.
Yep, go to gravesideparanormal.com.
And that'll be in our show notes if you forget, even though you just heard it just now. So, thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Everybody else!
else? Go to monstersloungepodcast.com for all of your merch and Patreon bonus episode needs. So until next time, thanks for visiting the Monsters Lounge.